Welcome to the Kent County Jail. The purpose of this video is to give you an idea of what to expect while you are here. We will also be answering many of your questions. The single best sources of information for you is your inmate handbook and the officer working in your housing unit. Throughout this video, we will feature a number of examples of an inmate asking a frequently asked question, followed by a deputy answering the question. For example,
How can I get moved to a different cell?
You have been assigned to a cell that should work for you until you get involved in a program of some kind. If you do not feel safe in your housing unit for any reason, speak immediately to your housing unit officer and they will contact classification if a move is needed.
our main job is making sure the jail is safe for you and the people who work and volunteer here. Safety includes maintaining an atmosphere where we all treat one another with dignity and respect. Safety also includes protecting everyone's health by making sure the building is as clean as possible. You will see that almost all of our rules boil down to either treating each other's persons and property with respect or keeping the building clean and in good repair.
How come I have to clean the day room? I thought that was the hall runners of the trustee's job.
Inmates who are sentenced to county time can be compelled to work as part of their sentence or face losing good time. Courts have ruled that even inmates who are not yet sentenced can be expected to participate in keeping their surroundings clean. Since all inmates use the day room spaces, showers, and toilets, it is only fair for everyone to share in keeping those areas clean. One of the ways we keep everyone safe is to get to know as much about you as we can. You probably noticed when you were booked into jail that you were asked a lot of questions and the answers were recorded in a computer. If you haven't already, you will soon be talking to a classification officer who will ask even more questions. When you reach a housing unit, the officer there will get to know you and everyone else in the unit by talking to you and reviewing your file in the computer. I hope you will feel comfortable approaching the housing unit officer with any questions or needs that you have. If at any time you feel unsafe, or if you're having a medical or mental health concern, please speak to an officer. They will do whatever is best for you. Another way to keep everyone safe is to reduce contraband. You were probably scanned for contraband when you were moved out of intake, and you may be scanned again. There is no reason to be concerned with exposure to this very low level of X-ray radiation. You would have to be scanned on our machine 400 times to equal the exposure of just one chest X-ray. Officers will also conduct frequent searches of your cell, day room, and they have the authority to pat search you at any time. For the safety of everyone, you should cooperate fully with these searches.
How do I report if I'm sexually assaulted in jail?
You have a right to be safe and free from sexual harassment and sexual assault while you are in the jail. No one has a right to pressure you to engage in unwanted sexual behavior, regardless of your past, your charges, or your sexual orientation. You have the right to be safe from unwanted sexual acts or advances. Sexual abuse means a sexual act or the use of threats, intimidation, inappropriate touching, or other actions aimed at coercing you or pressuring you to engage in a sexual act. A staff member engaging in or attempting to engage in a sexual act or intentional touching with the intent to abuse, humiliate, harass, degrade, or arouse sexual desire is sexual assault. It is an inappropriate use of power and it is illegal. Here are some things you can do to protect yourself against sexual assault. Do not accept gifts or favors from others. Most gifts come with strings attached. Do not accept an offer to be your protector. Find a staff member with whom you feel comfortable discussing your fears and concerns. Avoid talking about sex. Other inmates may think you have an interest in a sexual relationship. Don't be afraid to say no or stop it now in a clear, direct, and firm way. Trust your instincts. If a situation does not feel right or safe, leave the area and report your concerns to an officer or other staff member. Report all assaults and all attempted assaults to your housing unit officer, a supervisor, or by calling Silent Observer by dialing 211 from any inmate phone. It is a free call. If you have been sexually assaulted, you will be given immediate protection from your attacker, and you will be referred for medical treatment. Medical staff will examine you for injuries and will gather physical evidence of an assault. Don't shower, wash, drink, change clothing, or use the bathroom until evidence can be collected. Once the abuse is reported, we will conduct an investigation to determine the nature and extent of the misconduct. You will be asked to give a statement. People who abuse inmates can only be disciplined or prosecuted if the abuse is reported and investigated. All reports are taken seriously. Emotional support after an attack is available from our mental health staff and from the chaplains. Your safety and the safety of others is the most important concern.
Can you tell me why I have to carry this ID card around with me all the time?
You will not be able to access any services such as medication or commissary unless we know for sure who you are. It is a rule violation if you do not immediately identify yourself when asked. We also conduct several head counts each day, and we take those counts very seriously. These counts are not only for the jail security, but they are also for your safety, since the officer is also checking on your welfare during each count. You will be asked to stand and identify yourself at each count. If you interfere with a head count, you will be disciplined.
What is your medical emergency?
Well, I was just wondering how much money I have in my account.
The intercom is for emergencies only. We don't want to use it for routine business because when we are talking to one cell, we're missing the potential emergencies in all the other cells. If someone is having a hard time breathing or if their blood sugar is low, we don't want to miss that because we are talking to someone else about routine things. We escort all inmates who are going somewhere outside the housing unit. The officer will direct you to walk in single file along the right side of the hallway and to keep your hands out of your pants and at your side. Your uniform is to be worn properly at all times when outside of your cell. No sagging is allowed.
CO, what we use these kites for?
We use forms called kites for communication within the facility. If you want to ask about being a trustee or going to work release or enrolling in a program or requesting any special service, you should use a kite. You will use a white kite for most of your business, but you will use a blue kite to contact our medical department. It is also important to remember that the housing unit officer is in charge of his or her pod, and they will enforce the housing unit rules. These rules include things like covering a light in a cell, or pasting things to the wall, or having non-commissary food items in your cell. Your bed will be made by 8 a.m. and will remain made until lights out at 10 p.m. You may lie down on your bed, but you may not go under the covers. Do not plug the airflow vents in your cell. They provide clean, fresh air into your cell. Cleanliness is also very important to everyone's safety, and so the officers will insist that you take part of the daily housing unit cleaning routine, and also that you keep your person clean. Violation of housing unit rules may result in you being timed in to your cell. Mealtime rules are also a part of an orderly and safe housing unit. The housing unit deputy will explain what the exact procedure for serving meals is in your housing unit. Moving around during meal periods is not allowed. The housing unit deputy will direct you when to pick up meal trays and when to bring them back.
Can I have visits?
You are allowed one visit per week. All personal visits will take place over a video visitation monitor. In order to schedule a visit, the person requesting to visit you must go online, call the visitation line, or come into the Kent County Correctional Facility Visitation Center. The Visitation Center is open 7 days a week. Each day a visitation schedule will be posted in your housing location. If you have a visit scheduled for that day, the schedule will have the time and the booth location for your visit. Professional visits don't count toward your personal visits.